Now back to our survey. I've been watching these guys pretty closely over the last 13 years. They've recorded 16 albums now, and I swear every one is better than the last. A couple of weeks ago, Bobby Lamm, the keyboard player with Chicago, paid me a visit here in the studio, and we talked about Chicago's latest hit.
The way Hard to Say I'm Sorry came about was by Peter and David Foster, who produced Chicago 16, getting together. David got together with each of us first to listen to what we had written and have a better feeling for what the album might be about, and then kind of help reshape or refine or add to or take out from some of the stuff that we'd written. And in most cases, what evolved was a new song, a different song.
Well, it looks like collaborations definitely pay off. This is Chicago with the number 9 song this week, Hard to Say I'm Sorry. And this is Dick Clark with our weekly countdown of the 30 biggest records in the country and our regular series of special features like this hour's flashback record. Would you believe that this band entered the album surveys with their first record 14 years ago this week in 1969? Actually, it was a double album set, and it gave the group a long string of top 10 hits, and the nice thing about this group is something called genuine humility. The group is Chicago, and their keyboard player, Bobby Lamm, puts it this way.
Well, in the early years, it was just nice to have, it was wonderful to have made a record. That was, to us, that was success, having made that first record. But to have hit after hit is something that nobody can really expect, and we certainly didn't expect it.
Well, maybe they didn't, but their fans sure did. Here's Chicago, a classic from 1970. Does anybody really know what time it is? Our flashback hit this hour on the National Music Survey is by a group that up until last year hadn't been heard from in nearly 2 years. In the summer of 1982, they went all the way to the top with Hard to Say I'm Sorry. And when I talked to the keyboard player at that particular time, he reminisced about one concert in particular when his group was on the bill with Love and the Chambers Brothers. Now, this is Bobby Lamm of Chicago.
We opened the show, and the first song we played was something that was on the first album called Listen. Yeah. It's pretty angular horn lines, but it's a rock'em sock'em. And we played it and finished it, and people just sat there. They didn't clap. A lot of them had their mouths open. Yeah. And now I like to think of it as awe, but back then it was. I mean, we panicked.
Well, there was no cause for alarm. Chicago would soon be hitting the top 10. They did for the first time in 1970 with this one, Make Me Smile.